All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited about tonight's event. I think we can go ahead and advance to the next slide series. So we're really excited to have everyone here tonight, and we wanted to kick off the event with a little summary of the Women in Architecture Committee's theme for 2023. It's written here, but I'm going to just briefly summarize what our thoughts are. First of all, this year, we really want to reflect on the past 10 seasons of WIA in LA. And, we will be having Powerful 10 this year. So it's upon us. We're really excited. And we truly want to reflect on the amazing achievements of women in our field. And we'll be highlighting some of these success stories throughout the year. But we're mostly excited to encourage everyone to shine your light so that others can too. That's really the overarching theme of the year, being bold, brave, putting yourself out there. We really want to help everyone to celebrate and recognize their own achievements. And we think that, us as individuals, we're our own best advocates. And so the practice of self-advocacy is so important. And it's really a great tool that we can use to help advance our careers and as well just grow our confidence. So we're really looking forward to diving deeper into the theme this year. And we'll kick it off with tonight's event, which is really focused on our biographies.
Next slide. So just to kind of tail into what Kristen was saying, the kind of when we were thinking about, and it was the event that we're doing today was something that we thought about last year, and then we wanted to do it when we just had a little bit of more breather, and it's a better way to kick off. It's the best way to kick off 2023 with New Year, New Me 2023. So that's why today, that's one of the things I think that we not lack, but maybe the strengths that we don't really have, that we're hoping by today's event and Saturday's event that we do have a great bio that we already can have ready at the ready, and we also have a great headshot at the ready for anything that in your career as you're growing. Next slide.
So as everyone has mentioned, New Year, New Me, it's a two-part series. Actually, I should say New Year, New Me in 2023, because it's the alliteration that really matters. Obviously, everyone here is in part one, which is the interactive biography writing workshop. It's until 7, so I know that's a long time, but I hope everyone can join for the full duration. And then part 2 is our professional photography at EYRC. It's this Saturday. We'll fill you in with more details in the next few slides, but it's between 10 and 3 p.m. And you're not required to attend the entire time. Next slide. For today, our agenda is in the circles on your screen. This is our introduction, and then we're going to have a really great, inspiring talk from Tania Van Herle. And then we're very lucky, my colleague Kelly Fehr is going to introduce the notion of what is a biography. And then we're going to go back to school a little bit. We'll have a homeroom time where you can do your bio break, but you can also spend 20 minutes reviewing your own bio or writing your own bio based off of the knowledge that Tania and Kelly impart. And then the last 30 minutes will be work sessions, which is a great opportunity for you to share your own biography and elicit feedback. It'll be a guided process, more details to come, but this is the more interactive part, though everyone's encouraged to speak and ask questions during the other parts as well. Next slide.
So who are we? So this is the new committee for 2023. Kristen and I are the co-chairs, and I want to take this moment, or Kristen and I want to take this moment to thank Kristen, Akin Zimmerman, and Yuming Wei, that were amazing chairs last year. They did a great job, and so they were a good example. I loved it. Thank you so much, Kristen and Yuming.
Yes, absolutely. Echo your sentiments. They have been amazing and still are, and continue to support us. I am excited to have the pleasure to introduce our newest vice chairs. Sarah Jacobson and Alexandria Hovel. So Sarah is the first female president of Lamar Johnson Collaborative and a founding member of the firm. So we're super excited to be working with Sarah, as well as Alexandria, who is an associate and senior project manager at Fehr Architects. Both of our vice chairs are very active in the community as mentors and peer supporters for equality within architecture. So welcome and thank you. Next slide.
And as I mentioned, I'm really happy to have Kelly with us today. Kelly is a lifelong student of human behavior. A graduate of the University of California at Davis, Kelly applies her interest in behavioral science to understanding and promoting excellence in marketing and business development for the design professionals. She started her career in the A&E industry in San Francisco in the 90s, and today she serves as business development lead for Skidmore, Owings & Merrill and works with SOM staff around the world. At work, Kelly participates in SOM's Women's Initiative and mentorship programs. At play, she enjoys hikes along the LA River and the city's secret historic stairways. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. And I'm really pleased to introduce to the group Tania Van Herle, although I know many of you probably already know her. Tania Van Herle is the corporate systems leader at HED, responsible for maintaining and driving operational results. With her experience in architecture, she has participated in all aspects of practice, including project management, business development, technical leadership, operations, office management, and corporate governance. An effective leader with driven business person, Tania works with internal stakeholders to spur company growth, maintain key operational procedures, create new processes, and ensure adherence to HED's mission of creating positive impact through responsive, innovative, and sustainable design solutions. She is the corporate treasurer for the firm and has served on the board since 2006. Throughout her career, Tania has been an advocate for equity, inclusivity, and diversity. She has championed policy and program development and actively models change both within her firm for the profession and within her local community. Trained in both architecture and engineering, Tania earned multiple degrees at UCLA in both civil engineering and architecture. And Tania is a founding chair of the Women in Architecture Committee of AIA LA, served as the president of the AIA LA chapter in 2018, and is currently serving her second term on the board of directors for the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles. So looking forward to hearing from her in the later part of this presentation. So next slide.
And we just want to say thank you so much to all of our sponsors who are able to underwrite this event so that it's a free event. So thank you so much to Gensler, Walton, PLP, and SOM. Next slide. Sorry, Cerise.
We also want to send a big thank you to EYRC for hosting our photography event this Saturday. Thank you so much.
And just a look ahead for Saturday, the two photographers we have lined up. Eric Stoudemire is someone that I was familiar with working on building photography, architectural photography. However, Eric does have a portfolio that includes portraits, and it's in a hidden tab on his website. But he sets out to document the streets of Denver with his camera, and he documents a series of old buildings, contemporary architecture, and urban landscape. He attended Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, and we look forward to working with him on Saturday. Our other photographer, Kat Mueller, has 10 years of experience doing portrait photography, specializing in headshots and creative portraits for seniors. And so she has more than 15 years of experience in behind the camera and on movies and for TV. And it informs her approach to a narrative approach to photography. So those are our two photographers lined up for Saturday for those that are attending that portion of the event. Next.
And we wanted to just, for those of you on the call today that will be joining us Saturday, we wanted to give you some do's and don'ts that we got from the photographers. Number one, obviously arrive early so that you're not feeling rushed. But for hair and makeup, they've directed us to let everyone know just to keep it simple. feel like you, and just, wear your normal styles. Don't do any like new hairstyles or new makeup. Just kind of keep it classic. And also, if you don't wear makeup normally, they did say consider a little lip balm or mascara because it will improve the quality of the image. Finally, for clothing, again, just dressing like yourself, but avoiding the busy patterns or logos. So more solid colors and subtle patterns is best. And for accessories, they said consider simple jewelry. So just wanted to get that message out. Next slide.
So as Alexandria mentioned, it's going to be at the EYRC offices. There's a morning session, afternoon session. For people that have registered for the Saturday session, you should have received an email with a link to a Google form to sign up for a time slot. We are going to resend another email with that same link and also a second link. If that on the first link, those time slots are taken, there's actually more slots available for each of the times for half-hour slots. And arrive, you'll have about 10 minutes for your photograph. Your session will be about 10 minutes with a photographer. So again, like they said, plan up to get there early, and we encourage you to get there early, even just to hang out and talk to people and see people in person and socialize, do some networking while we're there.
There will be
Next slide.
food and drinks. So.
Oh yes, sorry. There will be snacks. There'll be morning snacks, morning type snacks in the morning and afternoon snacks type snacks in the afternoon. Thank you. Next slide. Oh, so now we're going to move on. So turning it over to Tania.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the wonderful introduction. A big thank you to AIALA and the WIA committee chairs. I'm so proud of all of the work that you're all doing, carrying the mission forward. And it's a great opportunity to be here tonight to provide an opening talk to kind of inspire the work session for the evening. I was really excited to hear the topic of the event, as it's such an important part of our growth in the profession, but it's not something we typically talk about. And as I was thinking about the title of the presentation, I thought about the vulnerability that it is associated with putting yourself out there. And that led me to the notion of exiting the comfort zone, which you can go to the next slide. And though I hope at the end of this evening, you will gain the knowledge, tools, and tips that will help alleviate any fears that you might have. So what's next slide? So what is self-advocacy? There's a lot of different definitions out there, but this is one that I found that I think had a good foundation to it. Self-advocacy refers to an individual's ability to effectively communicate, convey, negotiate, or assert their own interest, desires, needs, and rights. Next slide. So that's a lot to unpack. So let's just take a moment. So communication, convey, negotiate, assert. Aren't these all skills that we use in our daily lives? In our work, communicating and conveying our designs are essential to our profession. We have to do it verbally, we have to do it in writing, and we have to do it graphically. We negotiate all of the time, our fees, our solutions, our own positions within our firms. And we have to assert ourselves a lot in the field, at plan check, with clients, and in our own offices. So on the flip side, interest, desire, needs, and rights, these are all very personal issues. And we really can't rely on anybody but ourselves to define what those mean to us. And we have to cultivate, nurture, and sometimes we even need to defend to maintain these attributes at a balanced and healthy level. Next slide. So I'm going to open this up to the audience if you want to participate here. Why do you think self-advocacy is important? So what? Why would we spend time talking about this subject? What does it mean to all of you? Any ideas, thoughts? Shy group. I see somebody's raised. Neha?
Yes, that's right. I think you just said it. It's like nobody knows yourself better than you. And you have to really rely on yourself to speak up about what you want, what you desire. And I've certainly learned that over the last few years, listening to my gut instinct.
Yes,
owning myself. And I think that's it. Who knows myself better than me, right? Who knows my experiences? Maybe my sister who grew up with me, but she's not here at work. So I
we
guess.
see some things. That's great. Thank you for contributing. I see that Yuming's added so you can be heard. Another person, if you don't speak up, chances are no one else will. Somebody else, as I'm home with a sick child, as women in the AEC industry, it's hard to get promoted and be noticed. We need to advocate for ourselves now more than ever. All very good, good commentary. So let's go to the next slide. So we can click it again. Certainly, it leads to opportunities, and those opportunities we can go ahead and click a couple times more because I've got this till maybe the next one. So it leads to opportunities, and those opportunities can provide us a lot of growth and development, and then that can lead to recognition by your peers, the community, your client, your boss, which can then in turn lead to a promotion. And as you continue to develop your platform, it can lead to influence. And all of this really grows on itself over time. And before you know it, you're now recognized as a leader or an expert in a certain aspect or field. There's another side effect to this, that is that all the work that you're doing to do self-advocacy and self-promote, you're amassing a bunch of information over time, a history, a catalog, and that becomes a significant record for your personal and professional history. And I'll tell you a little bit more on that later. So next slide. And personal history, yes. So easier said than done. So all of that sounds great, but how do you get there? And I was just reflecting upon this and looking at all of the dynamics in all of this in terms of the competing feelings and emotions that come into play that we contend with. There's so many just contradictions, and it makes it all seem very daunting. And I particularly say that for this audience, the female audience, because we all want to self-promote. However, we want to remain likable, and we don't want to be seen as a braggart. And so it's all about balancing that. We want to share our expertise, but our self-doubt sometimes second guesses the value of what we have to share. We want to appear confident. However, our drive for perfection might give us apprehension, and women are known to do that a lot. So where do we go from here? Why don't we go to the next slide? So what role does confidence play? I'm going to provide some research that I kind of explored myself in preparation for this presentation. As women, we all know the double-edged sword of confidence. Too little, and the quality of our work is second guessed. Too much, and you're considered bossy or the other B word, and that is true. That happens. Though confidence really should be a neutral gender trait, it's not. And in fact, it's even weaponized against women. In a recent article from the Harvard Business Journal titled Savvy Self-Promotion, the author points out the dilemma that women face. And what they say is when women fail to achieve career goals, leaders are prone to attribute it to a lack of confidence. And when women demonstrate high levels of confidence through behaviors such as being extroverted or assertive, they risk overdoing it and ironically being perceived as lacking confidence. So we can't win. We're basically, we show too much, we show too little. We're basically, not getting there. So next slide. So it's also helpful to look at the research to understand the challenges that are out there. However, it's also, in another study, excuse me, the gender gap in self-promotion, which is by Christine Exley and Judd Kessler. They're professors at Harvard and University of Pennsylvania, respectively. They found that men are more comfortable with self-promotion than women. Any surprise there? However, they further point out that the gap in self-promotion is not driven by a gender gap in confidence, contrary to what we were just talking about. When asked how much they agreed with this statement, I performed well on a test, and this was both men and women that were asked this question. On a scale of 1 to 100, the average woman ranked her performance at 46, but the average man reported a 61. That's a difference of 1/3. And note that the women who underestimated their performance were closer to the truth than the men who overrated their performance. I will also say that the reason that they drive this, that it's not a confidence thing, that the study, the women were given, some of the women in the study were given their results, and they were also given the results of how they performed relative to their peers. And even with that information, they would still self-promote less than their male counterparts. So there's something innate in all of this that we just need to be cognizant of and aware. So let's look at the next slide. So it's helpful to look at the research and to understand the challenges that are out there. And please note that there's a lot of other studies out there that you can look at. It's also good to see that the gap is beginning to close. Certainly society at large needs to shift to value different skills and strengths. They talk about the whole notion, Sheryl Sandberg and the lean in, that women need to lean in. They also talk about the fact that men need to lean out. So it's not just our work to do, it has to come from all sides. And businesses are beginning to value different characteristics, such as empathy, authenticity, and vulnerability at a higher level. And that's an important change to see. And I think that the DEI or JEDI movement is certainly helping to advance this cultural shift. Next slide. So I do want to provide you with some approaches that hopefully will help you on your journey to self-advocacy. And when we spoke about this earlier, there are extremes to self-promotion, and I think we always want to maintain a balance. Number one, consistent, reliable performance is a great way to gain self-recognition. Just doing a good job and doing it consistently, being reliable is a big part of leading the path. That serves you within your workplace, but also in the community type work that you do. You can remain humble. However, if somebody's asking you to provide positive information about yourself, don't hesitate, do it. If others are sharing, it's a great way and an opportunity for you to share because it opens it up. And think of LinkedIn. Everyone is self-promoting on LinkedIn, so you might as well go for it. And when appropriate, find a promoter. If you think about actors or athletes, they all have publicists or PR firms behind them. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go out and hire a publicist, but perhaps a friend can help you write something about yourself. It might be easier to have them tell you traits about yourself than you're maybe willing to kind of come up with. And then always try to present a balanced picture of yourself. And I think this is where women actually might be able to do a better job. It's okay to share some of your vulnerabilities. It's okay to say, here are my strengths, but here are some of the things that I wish I, could be better at or could do differently. And I think knowing that you're self-aware, and a sign of a good leader is somebody who knows themselves and knows where their weaknesses and strengths are. Always be authentic and true to yourself. And when somebody provides you a public comment, it's okay to simply just say, thank you. You don't have to make any, oh, but I didn't do, or a negative. Take it as a positive and say thank you. And that's all you need to do. So as we move on to the next slide, to give you my personal journey to fellowship, I want to share what is my ultimate so far in my life self-promotional experience, and that's the journey to fellowship. I received my fellowship from the AIA last year, and someday I believe firmly that many, if not all of you, will have the opportunity to move forward in that endeavor. And hopefully I can provide you some words of wisdom that will help you. Talk about exiting your comfort zone. This was a big departure way outside of my comfort zone. The process of the fellowship application rests on a super concise, all-encompassing, compelling 35-word statement followed by a one-page summary supporting your thesis. Getting those 35 words assembled required incredible introspection and self-analysis with a lot of self-doubt and questioning that comes into play. And it's essential that you're able to demonstrate a ripple effect. That is, that your contributions have had widespread impact on the profession. So throughout the process, you're constantly questioning every single word you place on paper to ensure its validity. The question, so what, becomes the never ending question. Everything that you put together, so what, so what? You also have to present yourself front and center, and definitely more on the braggadocious side of the spectrum, which wasn't very comfortable for me. I don't know if it's comfortable for most people, but certainly a change for me. And through all of this, you are incredibly exposed and vulnerable. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? So next slide. From a practical side, you know, you needed to scour your professional experience and also community experience to substantiate your statement. So that means looking back on projects, going, you know, all the way back to the starting of your career, client quotes, statistics about projects, speaking engagements that you're part of, getting reference letters, being able to cite publications, being able to associate awards and recognitions with your work, being able to connect extracurricular activities to the whole story, providing photos. Well, for me, I had part of my career pre-internet, so it wasn't just available to go search for, and it was a bit of an effort. And so just a reminder that the work that we're talking about today, hold on to these things. They're good kernels of information that will help you in your future. And it's important to keep that. And you never know what's going to happen. So next. So then the waiting game. So you begin your application in June, you pour over it until the deadline in October. Then you wait until mid-February to hear the news. So in my case, the first try was not a success. Though I received a lot of positive input, I was deemed for what I would have called minor technical issues. I attempted again to only learn that I didn't make it a second time. Again, some minor comments, but very little to go with in terms of how I needed to redirect. And at this time I was done. I was ready to throw in the towel. I told my mentor, I'm not doing this. And she said, nope, we don't quit. And so with the push and support from a lot of my peers and colleagues, I proceeded for a third time and was successful. And though I'm very honored to have been invited to be a fellow, I really truly value the comprehensive chronicle of my professional achievements that I now have bound together and in one place. And it goes back to the value of self-advocacy and creating a record of your accomplishments, because those are yours and you get to keep them forever. The next slide. As I conclude the presentation, I want to share this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. If you want to change the world, start with yourself. And I believe that we have a lot of change makers right in this audience. And just remember that you can always jump back into your comfort zone. You don't always have to step outside of it. With that, I'll turn it back over to the chairs.
Thank you so much, Tania. I really like that notion of balanced self-advocacy and like representing a balanced picture of yourself. It's also nice to hear your path to fellowship. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we will now open it up to our next speaker, Fehr. Next slide.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's so nice to be here with this group. Before I get started, I want to share a story from today that completely shines a light on why this topic of what is a biography is so important. I was on a call advising one of SOM's most experienced designers about business development. He's worked on projects all over the world and is incredibly accomplished in his own right. And he said to me, he said, one of my mentors noticed that I wasn't participating in conferences, I wasn't speaking, and this designer said, I don't like conferences, I don't like speaking, I'm a designer. And he said, the mentor said, you need to be seen. He said, Kelly, is that important for me to be seen? And of course, I'm sure you can all guess what my answer was. Yes, it's important to be seen. And so I realized in looking over the notes tonight that the biography, your biography, is a tool. It paves the way for you to be seen in our industry. The biography is an opportunity to tell your story. It's an opportunity to advocate for yourself. And most importantly, it's an opportunity to tell your story in the way you want to be known. Next. So opportunities to tell your story are everywhere, in real life, in social media, and in print. Next. What we're going to focus on tonight are some specific venues: professional events, LinkedIn, and your resume. And I really hope that everyone can stay through the through the end of tonight, because we're going to be talking. I have some slides to share and some recommendations, but I think the real learning is going to come from sharing, and that's the part that I'm really looking forward to tonight. Next. So the first type of biography is something that is used for conferences and events, and it's generally a very short bio, which is often much harder than your long traditional resume. And so I encourage you to, when you're coming up with the short bio, to think first and foremost about what are the organizer's objectives. So for example, in tonight's event, what are the women in architecture objectives? But then secondly, think about what are your personal objectives for participating, and make sure to weave in a little bit of both. Find the intersection of the organizer's objectives and your own. Let's see, let's go to the next slide, please. This is our co-chair Monica's short bio from the website, and she did a really good job at advocating for herself by highlighting her role and accomplishments. She did a really good job at branding, branding of herself, where she talks about her values and her organization's values. This participation really serves the goals of networking by providing visibility and access for Monica to a targeted group of people, all of you. Also, the aspect of a biography that's important is professionalism. Make sure your bio is clear, correct, and engaging. Next. So we'll move on to LinkedIn. There's a lot in LinkedIn, and most of us don't use it very well. I think it's very important to use it. Think of it as a business card, but much more. So again, to improve your profile, think about your objectives. What do you want to promote? And I have highlighted on this slide the 4 key areas that I think are most important to focus on, and we can get into the details of why those are important. But it's really the background photo, your headshot, your connections, and about you. Next. So let's pause and take a moment to look at Ashley's LinkedIn profile. There are a lot of things I like about this. Would anyone like to suggest, what do you think about this profile that's good or could be improved?
I like that she has a background photo. I find that so many people don't. It's like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I didn't know you could, but yeah, that's great.
Anything else?
The lack of activity down there at the bottom. It says she hasn't posted in a while.
Good observation. Yeah, being active on LinkedIn is a really easy, low cost, efficient, and generally fun way to raise your own visibility for the things that you care about. What else? All right, let's go to the next slide, and I'll point out some of the things that I like about it. Definitely having the photo in the background photo is something everyone should take advantage of. It's really easy to do. In this case, Ashley put in a picture. It's from a grad school competition. And when I asked her why she liked it, she said it represents my personal sensibilities. And LinkedIn really is about you. It's not so much about your firm, it's about you. So take an opportunity to put something in that photo that illustrates what's important to you. The connections, what's important about this is that Ashley has a lot of connections, and that's where the opportunity to network is comes in when people open up your profile, and if they see that you have a lot of connections, it really conveys that you're open to communication and that you're interested in being part of a larger network. In the About section, I think she does a good job of advocating for herself, and it's also written in a very professional manner. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so this one is a lot of fun, and Kristen, I will definitely let you chime in. Kristen and I had a lot of fun preparing for tonight, and Kristen was brave enough to show her before and after. So let's pause for a minute, and I'll let you take a look at this, and then maybe we could start the comments with Kristen if you want to share anything about your experience of updating your LinkedIn.
I don't know how much time to give, but
Kristen, you already have more connections. That's great.
Yeah,
I know, right? I went through and I accepted the ones that had been sitting there for a long time, and then I reached out to people. But the reason I am really excited that Kelly's doing this is because she did a little primer similar to this at SOM for our women's initiative. And I took a little convincing, but I now see the importance of something like this. And it is also not that difficult. The hardest part was writing the biography. And so, this workshop is a great opportunity to improve it.
great. Yeah. And I encourage everyone, even if you are an expert writer, have someone else review what you've written about yourself, because it's very hard to be objective about yourself. All right, next, please. So this is just a reminder to be active, like we were talking about earlier. Post, like, and repost activities and stories in LinkedIn. It's a really good way to share, promote yourself, and advocate for the things that you care about most. All right, let's go to the next one, please. So internal company resumes. What does your resume say about you? What role do you play in the firm? What you should really be thinking about in your own resume is make sure it communicates the value that you bring to clients and project teams. Support, for those of you that work inside a firm, support your marketing department by proactively asking if you could review your resume. Look and see, is it up to date? Are the experience and projects history correct? But most important, does it state the value you bring to clients? Check in with your marketing group at least once a year, and be cautious about considering or suggesting any major content or stylistic changes, because the resumes of a firm need to all have a similar look and feel. But I do notice that the more senior people in an organization, their resumes often do reflect really who they are, whereas more junior, less experienced people in an organization, it tends to be just sort of a list of facts. And so it is an opportunity for everyone at every level to continue to advocate for yourself and make sure your resume is reflecting you the way you want to be represented. So let's go to the next slide. This is a resume of Julia Murphy, one of the senior leaders in the firm. She was recently made a partner. She is an incredible advocate for women. And I think one of the things that in her resume, she makes a point of talking about the things that she cares about. So don't be modest, be factual. One of the things that Julia says in her resume is that she thrives on complexity and leads large projects. Both those characteristics are things that correlate with compensation. So, be cognizant of the things that your resume is saying about you. For branding, share what you stand for. Julia's resume expresses the value that she places on contributing to the design profession and to equity inside and outside of the firm. So again, on your internal resume, make a point of working with your marketing department to make sure that it's correct and clear and compelling. So those are 3 different types of places that your biography exists. And again, I just want to reinforce, these are all opportunities for you. It's a pathway for being seen by the industry. Don't hold back and just hope that your work it precedes you. We have to do more than that. Next, please. There we go.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. That was so informative. I'm already thinking I have definitely homework to do with my LinkedIn. I did reach out to our marketing director at KFA and asked him, like, when do you update it? You know, because based on our talk before. So thankful. This is actually really great information to take. So now we're going to move over to this homeroom portion where we're going to take 20 minutes. And everyone, if any one of those 3 styles of biography spoke to you, just a reminder, it was the shorter type bio for conferences and events. It was a LinkedIn bio and also internal company resume. So we're going to take 20 minutes, jot down some things about your personal bios that you think, just kind of like brainstorm. And then after that, we're going to go into some work sessions. So Therese, if you can stop sharing so I can put a 20-minute timer. Oh,
Before
yeah.
Monica puts the timer, in the spirit of documenting what we do and, you know, potentially sort of advertising on WIA's social media, we want to take some screenshots of all of our faces here that are attending the event tonight. So I'm going to just take a few screenshots on the Zoom right now. If everyone's okay with that, just give me a happy face. And I'll just take a few, so bear with me here.
A lot of people, it's great.
We're really excited about the showing we got tonight.
Oh,
So
great. Let me know when you're ready. Oh,
all right, I'm good. Thank you.
all right. So we have this cool way that we're gonna time the next portion. And I don't see it. Hold on, let me make sure I have it. Yep. Telling me I close. Oh, I see. Sorry. See,
And
I went to LinkedIn. There we go.
I was just going to say, as Monica mentioned, this is a time to either pull up a bio you've already thought for yourself that you might want to edit, or start from scratch, but focus it on one of the 3 that Kelly just explained.
Okay, let me share. That was really cool. I should listen to that kind of music all the time. Cerise, will you reshare your slides, please? How was that for everyone? Hopefully that was plenty of time to be able to brainstorm and in some cases look at what you already have, in other cases maybe start from scratch. I don't know if Cerise is. Yeah, we go. Thank you.
All
Okay,
right.
go, Kristen.
Sorry, Monica.
Nope,
So
it's you.
as mentioned earlier, we're going to switch to joining our breakout rooms now, and we have 3. The first one is for those of you that focus your writing on your conference and event bio. The second is for LinkedIn, and the third is for internal company resumes that might be used in proposals. So session 1 will be led by Tania Van Herle, session 2 by Fehr, and session 3 by Monica and myself, and if possible, a special guest who may or may not be able to join in as she's got sick kiddos, but Mandy Flynn from HKS, who's our regional marketing director. So please join your room. I think, Cerise, can you open the breakout sessions now? Great. All right, so everyone, please join your room and we'll get notifications when the 25 minutes is up. And we probably, actually, we're doing okay on time. Might be a little less than 25.
Maybe 20.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Cerise, I'm not seeing the ability to join a room. Not sure.
If you look at the bottom next to share screen, you'll see breakout rooms.
I see it and I've clicked it.
Oh, weird.
I don't know if Monica's still on here. She already told me. I'll figure
Do you
it out.
want me to put you in
It's
a
a
room?
pop-up.
Do you want me to put you in a room, Kristen?
Can you put me in room 3, please?
Let me find you here.
Thank you. Oh, now I see it. I'm good, Cerise.
Okay.
Thank you anyway.
Does anyone else need help getting to a room?
I do. Can you put me in session 3?
Who's that? Who's that?
This is Mandy Flynn.
Okay, Mandy, let me find you here.
Thank you.
That's weird, Mandy. I don't see you. Okay, wait, hold on. Room 3, room 2, room 1, and people who aren't in a room yet.
Yeah, I am on an iPad, so I don't see the button anywhere, but I wanted to be in session 2.
Okay, just hold on. I see Faith. Mandy, there you are. Mandy, you wanted 2?
3.
3. Mandy wants 3. There you go.
Thank you.
I hope I did that right. Ooh. And then who else?
Jennifer Marca, session 2.
Marca, Jennifer, there you are. Assigned to 2.
Thank
Next,
you.
anyone else? Jeanette?
Hi, this is Faith. Can you put me in room 1, please?
Absolutely. Here you go.
Thank you.
Maura? Jeanette? Shamdi? You might all be on mute. Let's see. Jeanette, you're on mute. If you'd like to be in a room, I can assign it to you. Hello, Jeanette. Jeanette. Okay. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? I can hear someone a little bit. Shaundi? Hello? I have no idea who that is. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute now. Hi, Chris. Oh, everyone's coming back. Okay, great.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Cerise, I was just asking if you could share the closing page of our slide deck.
Yes.
Should I close all rooms, force people to?
I think so.
Okay.
Your conversation is over.
Oh, it still gives them 60 seconds. So.
Oh, it does. Good.
Yeah.
We can give it a minute, but have people return here. Unless they just left. Hopefully they'll.
No, I hope not.
There we go.
We're on time.
Yeah. Right on time.
Did you receive the broadcast in the rooms?
Yes.
For some reason, Kristen,
Perfectly.
I couldn't send them, but only you can send them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad you got them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're really just back here to say thank you. We're so excited about this first event, and we're looking forward to Saturday. We hope many of you will be joining us for the headshots. And yeah, I think that's really it. Just thanks everyone for this engaging conversation. Thank you to our speakers, Ellie and Tania, and to all of my fellow chairs. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I would also add, I want to add, there are, I think, a handful of slots ready available for the headshots. If you want to go back to the AIA event, you can look on the webpage on our under WIA committee. We do have some slots available. You will be getting an email again to sign up for a slot, and then we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everyone. This was great. I really appreciate it.
I agree. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. See you Saturday.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen and organizers.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Are we all signing off?
Yes.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Night,
everyone.